Well, this century-old mansion can be found on several lists of local haunted houses, and now it's on another list of historic, most endangered buildings in Kansas City.
KCTV5's Betsy Webster has a rare look inside the Epperson House and tells us how UMKC is hoping to bring it back into the world of the living.
You've been welcomed to the house now. You've come through this grand door into the Great Hall.
It's been some time since Bob Simmons, UMKC's Associate Vice Chancellor of Administration, has given tours of the 56-room Epperson House.
It's kind of this jewel that people can't quite get inside.
It took 4 years to build, from 1919 to 1923, as a mansion for Uriah Epperson and his wife.
It's an amazing house. It's 24,000 square feet.
Down the steps to the lowest level was the recreation area. Over here, we had a billiards room, and just across the hallway, a swimming pool.
So, pool's still there.
When people stood on the steps in the 1920s, their view was not of a university, but another mansion, trees. They watched polo matches. This room is where the Eppersons would entertain. They had a passion for music. Up here was an organ loft.
Question I am often asked is, what happened to the organ? The short answer is, I have no idea.
It was gone before the home's second owner gifted it to what was then University of Kansas City. That was in 1942, during World War II, so its first adapted use was as a dorm for Navy pilots training at Olathe's Naval Reserve Station. It then became student dorms, then classroom space for various education programs. But Simmons says keeping the building for education became cost prohibitive in light of ADA requirements.
Academic programs have to be accessible for students. This house, which works nice in a residence, has about 3 steps every 10 steps you take.
When the university vacated in 2011, they had to choose their battles with money. One of the things they thought was most important to preserve was this original woodwork. They say it doesn't do well with temperature changes, so their focus was on heating and cooling. That alone, they say, with a few routine security patrols, has been costing them $60 grand a year.
That means decaying ceilings have taken a back seat. Vandals have broken out windows, now boarded up. Graffiti on the walls has been left to sit. The building is now on historic Kansas City's most endangered buildings list. For years, UMKC has tried to find an investor to bring the home back to life by word of mouth in the preservation world. But when the new chancellor saw the house on the hill and saw inside, he pushed his staff to take more official steps, which is why they're now seeking formal statements of interest in a public-private partnership.
The restoration, preservation, and adaptive reuse of the house is our goal.
The university would likely keep ownership, but with a decades-long lease.
They can get the use out of it, the community can get the use out of it, and they can recoup the investment that they would be making.
Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
And by the way, if you're interested, tomorrow is the last day that UMKC is accepting those offers of interest.